Gingers.
That was the last time that I went to the Best Western.
So, last we left off, you had begun to settle back down in Neverwinter as you begin your wait until the 173rd meeting of the minds. In the Beach Leviathan, you would have all the next day found your new invitations waiting for you at the hand of Captain Harag, who let you know that it had been hand delivered by an elven lady. The date reads 2 days' time. And actually, I have it. It looks the same as the previous invite that you had received, with other than the altered date. But I will read it back out for you. Or who would like to read it for us?
Well,
I'll
I
read
suppose
it.
I
I was
can.
going to say Bungerson would be the best to read this, probably.
Oh,
Excellent.
yeah, Bungerson can't read, so that's not going to happen.
Joking. Just you can read it out of play, essentially, couldn't you?
Hear ye, hear ye. Your presence has been requested to attend the 173rd Meeting of the Minds, by request of your host, Zelaman Roaringhorn. 25th Keirhorn, 3 p.m. till 8. Attire and decorum, bold and noble. Address, Roaringhorn Estate, Tower District, Neverwinter.
So with this, in the Beach Leviathan, your go-to place of residence these days. It is early in the morning after another full day that you've spent and an evening. You would be greeted in the tavern by the smell of roasting fried food, meats, toast. And the interior of this tavern is dimly lit as usual. There are very small windows in this repurposed old ship that has turned tavern. The candles and lanterns kind of cast this kind of warm glow around the space, and the large, long wooden planks creak under your feet. And the walls are adorned with tapestries and paintings depicting different scenes of storms and different crews that may have manned the ship once upon a time. Now, I'm going to assume that you're all around in the tavern. But what are you all doing as you start the day?
Well, Shamash is looking for some breakfast. That is number one priority. The smell of cooked meats is irresistible to his palate. So he's gone to the kitchen to ask whether breakfast is ready yet.
By the smell of it, breakfast is ready, and you've eaten here enough times now to know the menu, and you'd be able to pick out a relatively hearty meal for your breakfast. But they know you well enough that they would also be able to prepare some different pieces that they know that is to your liking. What might the breakfast consist of, Smash?
Well, obviously there's the sausages, bacon, and eggs. But after he tried it once in the wild, he's very keen for some, lightly seared cat. So one of those looks good, and then if there's a nice side of beef as well to get him going in the morning, then that really, wakes him up and gets him ready for a day of a fiery business.
Nice.
Nubs has been busy working and scribbling in a book during this time. He's been practicing his joke writing, something he's thought about getting into recently. He's just been trying to find out. He's started to write a few things down. And yeah, He's just feeling pretty good about how he's starting off, and he's got some pretty good ones. Mostly going with animal themes to start himself with. Yeah, seems to be humming away to himself in the corner at the breakfast table. A little grin on his face.
Abard comes down the stairs down to breakfast. You notice a substantially larger quantity of clank coming off him than usual as he appears for breakfast in a very shiny new suit of armour that he's very proud of.
Balls on the front.
He's just kind of gently polishing the balls with a little rag.
Phelan's busy tending to the Shroominous ale that's been brewing in the Beach Leviathan, getting it ready for divvying it up with Harag.
Medica is in his suite, as you can call it, kneeling before the window with his new bought ring, and he's not wearing any clothes other than the ring, obviously, and having a little prayer while he does it.
Where's he wearing the ring?
He is wearing the ring on his right hand's index finger.
Okay.
And he's having a prayer and having that ring work as a symbol of his prayer because of the three lightning he possesses. And depending on what happens, if nothing happens, he ceremoniously puts on the armor.
Nice. With your newfound ring, you feel this feeling of... Sorry, whoever's typing, can you do it less loud, please?
Oh, is it me?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it might be. Is that picking it up? That's strange.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then maybe it's not using this mic, is what I'm trying to say. All right.
Putting your ring on, and as you don your armor, looking down at the ring on your index finger, you feel connection again with the fact that you have adorned some additional jewelry that, from memory, matches an amulet that you also wear. Correct?
Yes.
Something
Yes.
around your neck, I seem to remember.
Okay.
And yeah, you as you don everything with your new armor, you feel stronger than you have of recent times where you felt frustrated. You feel like
Can you
there's a
hear?
good end. Yeah, you sound fine, Jonah.
Great. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was for some reason coming through my laptop mic. Apologies.
Good there. Unger Bungson, what do you do?
Unger Bungson is currently hunched over a massive plate of food at the table, stuff in his face, and he pauses for a moment to smirk as he reminisces upon the time that he may have or may not have conducted a little moonlight flit on the Emporium in Brinshanda.
Yes, we forgot to do this last time. As you recall back into your mind, just to remind us all, to bring us back slightly, there was an item in your possession. Explain to me a little bit about it.
It was a comb adorned with moonstones, so I'd been told. But Unger just took it as a silly piece of, I don't know, jewellery worth apparently 200 gold. I think I got for it.
Yeah.
Later, when we met Zephyros, turned out the item is literally priceless
Ooh.
and does possess some magical qualities. that could be
Everything
quite
has a
useful
price.
at a social occasion. So, knowing this and being very embarrassed with himself, Unger approached Finnan for his help, unbeknownst to the rest of the party, to try and regain what was lost with appropriate recompense.
Nubs and sorry, not Nubs. Finnan and Unger both roll me. Well, explain to me what your game plan would have been in very simplistic terms. We can brush over this relatively briefly, but I still want to see some rolls to determine the outcome of that fateful attempt.
Yeah, so I think it mainly would have involved, if there were any obstacles that required wrenching or bashing, that would have been something Unger could have sorted out. But I think the bulk of the work, in my mind, probably would have been done by Finnan, either crawling through a keyhole as a little spider, doing some recon, and potentially trying to locate this comb.
I'd ask you both to make me a stealth check.
Oh boy. I got 1 inspiration. Can I roll with that?
Oh, retroactive inspiration, I'll allow it.
Finland did it best.
Oh, it's not much of a difference.
You recall back to as you snuck around one evening around Renderil's Emporium, trying to find some means of entrance into the shop. Through one of the windows, you can even see the comb sitting on one of the pedestals amongst all of the other artifacts that Renderil had gathered in this place. Finding a back door, you were unable to open it through the means of lockpicking. However, you were able to, at least Finnan, be able to get through in the means of another form. Watching from the outside or listening, Ungar, I'd ask you to make me a perception check as you scout around.
No.
See a bloodbath come in.
You have a look around the alleyways in which the door is located, but you kind of look over your shoulders left and right, and you don't see anyone, and it seems quiet enough to you. Finnan, inside the Emporium, it's a relatively small shop. But I would ask, as you've now gained entry, that you explain to me how you would walk around the shop and attempt to take the comb.
I love how we got some Skyrim music playing.
So I got my
Stop right
grey,
there,
I got my
Skyrim.
grey fox helm on. Okay, so Finnan, having managed to make his way in, is want to stay as light as possible. However, he does need to pick up a comb, so I think staying in spider format, for example, for gaining entry, may not be appropriate. So I'd like to think he's taken his shoes and socks off, and his armor is also off, so he's just like bare minimum clothing to be extra sneaky.
Okay,
And it's sort of just
some
like
pantaloons.
tiptoeing. Yeah, pretty much he's just tiptoeing around like cat burglar style.
Okay. Back in your humanoid form, I'd ask you to make me another stealth check as you move around the Emporium.
Alright.
With a dirty 20. You make your way to... You remember yourself making your way to the comb. You look at it for a while, and you... Well, explain to me. What do you do?
So I'm guessing it's on like some sort of pedestal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so Finnan's there. He's eyeing it up. He's in the moonlight. He's sort of looking at it, rubbing his chin, and pulls out a small spare bag from his pocket and starts like weighing it up, like, is it like the same weight? And then switches the comb for the bag quickly and sort of holds it close as if he's trying not to trigger anything.
Okay. Make me a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
You look at your hands shaking as you hover them over, and you make the switch. And for a moment, you hold your breath, watching, waiting for any type of change. And you do notice that as you lift off the comb and replace it, there is this slight shift in the pedestal as it holds the weight. But it is balanced by what you place on it. And you breathe a deep sigh of relief.
Nice. As I leave, I don't turn to walk in the right direction. I walk backwards, trying to retrace my steps perfectly.
Okay.
But, however, I need to raise an issue. How do I get outside? Because I can't turn into a spider with the comb.
So you reach back to the door, and Finnan, you have this thought flash through your mind, looking at the door, looking at the comb. What do you do?
I'm imagining Uncle Bunkson's just outside the door.
Yeah, basically he's
Okay.
like pressing his face up against the glass.
Nice. I go, Combs, sort of whisper very closely to the glass so he can hear me. Combs too big for me to sneak through. I think we may need to use brute force.
Force, Hunger says questioningly.
Yeah, I sort of like go, like, hand to face, and then point to the door handle.
As Finnan points to the door handle, Hunger punches it as hard as he can. Because that's his understanding of the gesture.
Roll me a strength. Okay. So punching the door itself.
Punching the door handle, specifically.
Door handle.
Yeah.
As you punch down, the door handle cracks off from the front, and Finnan, you see the insides, the door handle just kind of like limply drops, disconnected, like half hanging out. Now what?
Finnan checks to see if he can hear anything from the violence that's just happened against the door. Like if there's anybody sort of stirring or...
Roll me a perception check.
Oh my god. That's so bad. A 9.
Over the din and the clang of the handle breaking, you can't make out any sound. It's almost like the ring of it is still in your ears.
Perfect. In that case, Finnan kicks the door where the handle's now loose and thinks, "We're free!" and starts legging it.
Okay. Roll me a strength as you do. In fact, no, just roll me an athletics, and we'll factor it all in.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes.
Kicking down the door, you burst out into the street and look at Unger. Unger, you look down at the comb.
I like to think I got the comb above my head and go, "Let's go!"
Now, as you do run,
Just before we do run, can Unger like thrust a hand into his coin purse and just like haphazardly try and throw them through the wide open door? That's some sort of
what are you trying to win?
It's just a handful of gold coins,
Oh, okay.
like through the entrance, through the open door.
Yeah, sure. Roll
And a
me.
roll for how
roll
many?
me. What? Roll me one. Whoa. Roll me 3d20s.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I just like as we're kind of shifting away, like adrenaline coursing through our veins, Unger quickly reaches into the bag, just throws them, scattering all throughout the shop, rolling around through the door. 42 gold coins.
42
Just imagine the
gold.
noise, can't you?
Yeah.
The clattering.
Masking your footsteps as you run off down the alleyway, the gold just like tinkles down into the room that you've quickly abandoned. You have the comb in your possession, at the loss of 42 gold pieces. But the comb is, and as you like rekindle this memory, Unger, as you sit down eating your breakfast, kind of pull it out of your bag of holding and just kind of let out a smirk to yourself, rekindling the memory.
Excellent.
I can just imagine Bunguson's caveman style smoke. Sort of like
Yeah.
bits of meat stuck in his big pearly
Hunched
teeth.
over. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
the same way like Schmiegel examines the ring.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Lovely. Beautiful. Good work.
So, with that, I'm going to pass over to you all as you start to form your plan of action for the rest of the day. Who is our leader?
Oh, yeah, right.
Shamash, I think. Unless
Roll
no one's
good.
rolled.
I forgot to roll my D100. There we go. Well, Shamash nonetheless. There you go.
Eat.
Well then, party. Shall we go and get ourselves dressed?
Suppose it's about that time, isn't it?
Oh, what's that noise in the background? Oh, it's very loud in here, isn't it? I will go next door to see what's going on. Nub, you you make the decision for me while I go and check out
Yes,
that noise.
yeah.
It sounds like it could be another cat to eat. Yum yum yum
Got
yum
you,
yum.
Smash. Don't worry. Hope you enjoy that cat while you're away. Yeah. Well, as you know, yeah, it's just Nub's like turning red. He's like sort of even in front of his people he's known for months now. He still gets nervous talking to the big crowd. We've got the party coming up, and we've got this allowance to spend on clothes. So I think, well, I was thinking you, Abard, you'd probably know a lot about this. You're a gentleman after all, or a gentleman. What did you say? I can't remember what you told me. Gentleman. Anyway.
Gentle is
What
the
is
preferred term, I believe, but you know.
Ah, I swear you said gentleman. Anyway, where would one go to find fancy clothes? I've got to be honest with you. I'm from a small village, and we made all our own clothes. And whilst they are comfortable, perhaps they aren't the fanciest in the whole land.
Well, I propose that we head over to the Tower District and we try and find some sort of fancy furniture of clothing.
A tailor.
Yes. Otherwise
We do have that
known.
word in my language, at least. Well, all right. I think that's fair enough. Shamash, he'll know where to go. He's got that cat in his jaws now, so he can't speak, but I'm sure he can hear what I'm going. If I just point to him, we're heading to the Tower
Oh,
District.
delicious cat.
Yes.
Great
Yeah.
stuff.
The Tower District is
Outstanding.
where we shall go.
Yes. I just have to ask though. I find myself somewhat at a loss for funds. Who had the purchasing expenses for the old costumes?
We've got 2,000 gyps between us.
Yes.
did
But you were holding
we-
on to that for us, weren't you, Abard?
Or did we take the receipts or something to them?
Let's see. I've written it down here.
I thought we were just given the
Oh no, that's just my
the
joke.
money to spend.
Yes, yeah, no, I think we did. It actually wasn't made very clear at the time.
Did we already divvy it up by any chance?
No.
I believe he said he would just pay for our clothes, wouldn't he? We would go in
think
there,
so.
say that we are on the credit of well,
Yes,
whatever
I
his name
think
was,
that's right.
Grab
It's house
Smacker
credit.
Rocksmith or whatever,
I thought it
and
was
it
2K
would all be charged to
Gibson.
him.
We could bill him as in one bills a company. They all know
Yes,
Rocksmith,
exactly.
I'm sure.
Yes.
So we have $2,000 between the 6 of us.
And we just
Yes, indeed.
bill it to the old mining company, is it?
Yes, bill it to the
Absolutely.
mining company.
Right.
They know they're good for it.
Well, I suppose are we ready to head off? We could always chat about what we might want to buy on the way over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
What's that?
Wonderful.
333 gold each. It's going to be great.
It will barely suffice. Where am I going to get jewels for that?
Indeed, I'm
Have
actually
to go to a
after.
costume jeweler.
Yes, I'm after some furs and velvet, so I fear that it could actually be quite the expense.
Well, I need the finest silks for my turban and robes.
Well, I make it at 333.33 recurring gyps per person for fancy outfits.
Indeed, the man is correct. I think I'll be spending most of mine on a purple velvet pointy hat. I've always wanted one.
Well, our traditional dress, of course, is the turban and long flowing robes of the Dragonborn clans. Obviously, it must be as bejeweled as possible to show my wealth and status amongst my clan. Hopefully, the Hellet Hill will be able to accommodate.
Well, if you're from such a wealthy, well-heeled clan, perhaps you can throw in some money yourself.
Yes, perhaps I shall. Although
I mean,
it
let's
has
not
been a bit
be too hasty on that. I'm sure we can always find some balance for those of us with finer tastes.
Yes, well, very well. Can we get walking, please?
I
My
thought
legs
we
are
were
starting to
walking.
twitch. Oh, we are. Oh, I am walking. Look at that.
We've been walking
Yeah.
for a while, Nubs.
I've got so fit these days, I barely notice it. I sort of thought we were still in the inn.
It's those
No.
fine shoes of yours.
They are soft as anything I could be. You know, I really ought to take my hammer to your shoes, gentlemen. Ever since I've repaired mine, they've just been nothing but like walking on air.
Yes, maybe we can take them to my shoes. Ha 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 ha.
They don't wear it. Oh, I get it. Says Nubs, laughing awkwardly. Not even awkwardly, just like uglily.
Ugly.
Yeah, has an ugly laugh. Sort of his eyes
Yeah.
bulge, spit comes out of his mouth.
So
He's a gnome after all.
as you start walking out of the Beach Leviathan, looking for something fancy, you head back out towards the more kind of Bohemian area, just before the Tower District of Neverwinter, in search of this. And it isn't long until you find like these streets of these kind of picturesque buildings. This charming cobblestone street in very quaint area of town. The street is lined with a variety of unique and colourful buildings, including some fancy bakeries, an apothecary, some bookshops. And the street is bustling with activity. And you see lots of the townsfolk and travellers alike going about their business. The street is in fantastic condition. And it is clean and well maintained, with flower boxes hanging from the windows of the shops, and lots of different people walking around in very mix of traditional clothing, some in more exotic attire. And there's the sound of lively chatter, the clanking of horse hooves, and the laughter of people as they kind of trade and discuss with different vendors. As you kind of walk down through this street, it isn't long until you come upon this fanciful, charming shop that reads Madame de la Couture's Fantastique. You remember actually that this shop was mentioned by Gundry in previous conversation. You can see in the window that it is filled with different dresses and suits. So walking in, into this place. It is just as charming on the inside as it is on the out. It is almost this kind of beautiful artistic magic place, full of color. And actually, as you open the first door, you realize that there is a second door straight after. Like you can see like inside through the glass, but as you go to open the second door, it doesn't shift, it is locked. Looking in through the shop, it seems empty in terms of people being in there. But it is, you're unable to actually gain entry to the full shop proper itself.
Have we tried pulling the handle harder?
Go on, Unger.
Unger can do. Unger grabs a firm grasp of the handle and attempts to wrench it down and pull the door open.
Roll me a strength check.
Strength check.
Oh no!
Oh, Bungerson.
Now,
Didn't have his weakness.
as you try to just kind of pull at this door, as you all just kind of stare in bemusement at this locked door of glass around it, you realize that actually it seems to be magically sealed. It doesn't feel like it is just some ordinary door. But as you kind of give it a shake, you hear this muffled sound on the other side, which sounds like a voice. And it triggers up at the far end of the shop is this kind of almost like balcony way, like internal balcony that has a wooden ladder to the left-hand side that reaches up to it. You see a pair of boots walk along the balcony. You're unable to see just from the skewed view from the doorway. It's the full owner of these feet. But you see this figure start to walk, climb back down through this relatively steep ladder, and you realise that it is a small person in figure. Roughly around the same size as I'd say Finnan, which I think is probably around 4 or so feet high, 3-4 feet.
Yep,
Yeah,
3.5.
3.5 feet. Cool. You see this like long, blacky grey, sleek hair, all pushed over to one side, and as the figure gets to the bottom of the ladder, they turn, and you see, wearing this kind of black gown and long leather boots, the face of, at first look, a goblin. And you see this black hair just draped over one side of their face. And it walks over towards the door and just kind of stares up at you expectantly.
Hello, madam. We're interested in purchasing some of your finer apparel.
And muffled again, you see her lips move, but it is hard to fully make out. You realize it is a female. Their lips move, and it is quite hard to make out exactly what she's saying. But muffledly, it sounds like, "Have you got an appointment?"
Why, yes, we do.
Well, mate, are you just lying outright,
Love
or?
Shamash.
I'm actually just convinced he has an appointment, so it's not so much deception because he doesn't
Yes.
think he's deceiving.
Okay,
He's lying to himself more than anything else.
It's
guess,
more persuading the concept of reality.
maybe more, maybe Oh shit!
It's
how-
what you call
Performance?
pathological lying. You can't tell the difference between a lie and truth anymore.
He just assumes he has an appointment everywhere because it's just used
Pretty
to
sure I
being
have one.
expected.
Yeah.
To just roll me
Oh,
a
dear.
charisma save in general.
You get a
Sounds
plus
fair
2 by virtue of being, presumably, in a very small space with me.
Yes, it is a tight
Excellent.
little space that you're all in, kind of cramped up in this little area.
Damn it! With inspiration.
She kind of rolls her eyes, and opens the door ajar so she can actually hear you properly. And you hear her voice now, fully like ringing out. Have you got gold? That is the main thing.
Right, actually, well, we've been sent by a Gundren Rocksmith, and we have a credit note. This needs to be charged against the Fandelver Mining Company's account.
Yes. Rockseeker did call ahead. They told me to expect some people. Fine. Come in.
This is nuts. Just
Entering into the shop now, you're greeted with this warm feeling, and although the demeanor of this goblin doesn't seem to replicate it, it feels like an inviting atmosphere, and you can smell the sweet scent of lavender in the air. You see the walls are adorned with these intricate gold frame mirrors, and there's a few chandeliers that cast this kind of warm glow over the space. And floors are made of this kind of ceramic cobblestone, which sort of glitters. You see a number of shelves and racks which are filled with different, not just like clothing. You see shoes, but you also see bottles of which you can only assume are perfumes. It looks like different assortments of potentially alcohol, whatever it might be. Now, the goblin walks over to the end of the room as she kind of lets you all walk in. And she kind of gives you all, I wouldn't say it's a warm smile, but she kind of nods her head and I assume that you are here for costumes for this event at the Roaring Horn Estate.
yes, we are Goblin. Now show us to the shopkeeper and be gone and start dusting or whatever you'll be doing.
I beg your pardon, the cheek of you, little gnome. I am Madame de la Corsaire. You do not speak to me like that.
Victor Allen, Goblin says nubs under his breath.
What
Looking
was
around.
that?
I said it's a fine establishment you've got here.
Indeed it is. One of the finest in Neverwinter, I have you know.
Can I stand in front of Nubs, blocking him from the goblin?
One giant muscular thigh would do that, no problem. Proudly spreading his legs in his new
One
shoot.
well-defined, shiny buttock.
The huge cod piece comes in front of Nubs' face. I'm sorry about that.
Why?
You know the old Roman suits of armor where they would like have their abs like fashioned
Oh,
into
yeah.
the it has got like the glutes like perfectly fashioned to the back like
Sort of like the dimples in the glutes as well as if he's dancing. That's great.
Like even
You
like
know
the
what I mean.
gooch seam, you can just about make out.
I literally sent Sam a picture of a Roman on a Segway earlier saying this is
Yeah.
Maybard.
So Avon.
Where's the picture?
I know exactly what Charlie was about. The fashioned. Like, do you imagine like tensed glutes? Do you know what I mean? Like, brrr, like it's really like
What I
you
sent
like
Sam
crush a
earlier.
pencil in it. That's right. Yeah.
Riding some chariot Segway.
oh good.
Anyway,
Right, well, yes indeed, madam. We do indeed look for costumes. Have you outfitted many of the other guests?
no, probably the majority of them have been rather busy. Now, you've left it quite late, I must admit. I haven't got many pieces left. I can obviously put some pieces together, but do you have any requests?
I myself have actually taken the leisure of having a concept image drawn up. If you'd like to cast your eyes at my notebook.
Oh, another fanciful designer. Fine.
I'll just show this to you in a general fashion.
Loading.
I'm getting an ad. Sorry. Oh, I love these GI Joe PSIs, by the way. Or PSA, sorry.
Put it in Discord general, by the way, not in.
She looks just like.
Oh, that was just speaking to the door. Sorry, I've got clicked the wrong thing.
It's just been trying to generate endless beefier outfits on a hobbit.
Indeed. And at the tights are a must, are they?
Essential, yes, actually.
Oh. A little bit last century, maybe, but I'm sure we have something we can piece together. Why don't you all follow me up into the changing rooms, and we can see what we are able to find for you to all fit. Kind of looks at Unger. You, my friend, might be a bit of a problem. You're rather wide than I have typically accommodate outfits for.
Looks at his shoulders, kind of flexes them, and then grins back ironically.
I
Anyway,
lean behind Unger and say, perhaps we could glue 2 suits together.
I'm sure we could figure something out, yes. Anyway,
I
as I
also
said,
had my own requests, potentially, Goblin friend. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
you did not interrupt me. I
Never mind.
merely-
Anyway. But I'll tell you about them later.
Follow me up to the fitting room, and maybe you can all have a look at some of the wares I have already, and then we can go into custom designs following, huh?
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
fair. I'm
Splendid.
sure you'll be able to accommodate our basic needs.
I'm sure I have something for everyone. I pride myself on my creativity and artistry. I'm sure there'll be a perfect garment for you all.
Yeah, snotty
Anyway.
ability too, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, and your ability to not be bothered by daunting tasks.
Roll me a deception.
Sorry, there you go. Yeah.
Which one of you does this one answer to? She looks at most of you who are larger than at least 5 foot.
I should deal with him. Abar's going to get down on one knee, kind of like talking to a small child. Grimwick,
Why
are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
Right. Before us, we see a female business owner. She is a woman of business, a woman of industry, and a woman of the gentry. Now, she may be a goblin, but that's no excuse. You will respect women, and you will be pleasant to all and courteous to everybody that we deal with. Is that understood?
Nubs draws himself closer to Avon. How old are you?
Bear with me.
Searching memory bank,
Scratching his head. Yeah.
adding it up on his fingers.
At least 10.
Abard correctly remembers his age when checking his character sheet. It's 32!
Listen to me, young man. I'm 206 years older than you. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. If you talk to me like that again in front of the party, I'm going to have to... Well, no, shut up. I don't think Nubs would answer like that. Let's think.
Roll me an intimidation
Too
as
late.
you do so there. Just as
Oh,
Nub, like
too late.
folds it.
Yeah.
Do it. You're going to try and
Rose cannot be
intimidate
taken
Abar.
back. Oh.
Hold flat.
Also, wearing my new armor, I get advantage at being scared.
Perfect.
Abar just stares menacingly, deep in the eyes.
Yeah,
Just
well,
a standoff.
I feel like I have to say no more.
Unger's going to pipe up and say, Unger, 3,000 years old. Much, much more.
Notice he's going to turn around and puff his cheeks. Go like that, just sort of look sort of like ahead at the floor. It's like, sorry. Just like that's the best he can mutter for himself.
If you're all quite done, would you follow me? And you follow Madame Delacocha as she walks back up from where she came, up this kind of wooden ladder and across this balcony that stretches along the back of the shop. And it's around kind of like 15 feet in height above the rest of the shop. But at the end of this walkway is a large wooden door. Entering into it is this kind of like little box room with another ladder going straight upwards into the floorboards above and into this room. Now, as you follow her up into this room, it is this extravagant room covered in different fabrics, silks, satins, cottons, linen, of all different colors. You see a large variety of pre-made mannequins, all covered in different suits, cloaks. Lots of different pieces of headwear all kind of sit on this large centerpiece of the room. Now, she looks around and she opens her arms like as if to present the room to you all. Please take a look around and find anything that you may like. We can see what we can do for any tweaks. I assume that you're renting or are you purchasing?
And
What sort of price
how
point are we
many
looking at?
coin?
Well, if you're putting it on Rockseeker's tab, he's already put a fair amount down for you. I would say that you will have a purchase, if that is what you're after.
Depends on the wares, says Nubs. Still a little bit perturbed. Tell me, have you any silkens?
I have silkens that reminisce of a mermaid's tail, and she kind of shows this like little teal suit. And she's like, I can custom anything to size, whatever it might be. And she walks past the suit that is like this iridescent, shimmering fabric that looks almost scaly. Another a suit made of like what appears to be this kind of soft leather with kind of Celtic knotwork embroidery all across it. This lightweight linen suit that seems intricate with lots of little detailing and cogs attached to it, like almost sewn in into it. There's also lots of different velvets, all detailed in slightly different ways that shout different types of themes. Some gothic, some more for like loungewear. Others that would suit more a pool party. It is there is all sorts here. I guess the main thing is, what are you all individually looking for? What defines the style of you going to a bold and noble party?
I'd like to jump straight in. Unger would like an entire suit made from snakeskin. He hates snakes. He has to wear trophies of his enemies. He wants snakeskin boots, snakeskin trousers, snakeskin jacket, and a snakeskin hat.
Is it weird that I always imagine him like wearing sort of the same style of like a tunicky raggedy thing, but just like in nice material, like sort of like
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
velvet.
they could just be like ragged scraps of snakeskin that he'll just wear.
I
Like
just
really
think,
nice sort of like trim
Yeah.
on all of them, but made to look like
Yeah.
scraps.
I don't
So,
know. Sorry, but yeah, I think the suit is the better idea.
I'd imagine as you describe this to the goblin, her eyes kind of widen. And I do not get many requests to deal in snakeskin. Many have concerns over the ethical nature of it, but
I
luckily
hate
for
snake.
you,
All snake die.
as do many, as do many. Luckily for you, I keep a large ream from the jungles of cults themselves. I actually had a fellow in here recently who came from there. He was explaining to me the size of the giant anacondas. Interesting. Maybe one day I'll get some of the material for myself and use it for a shop. Maybe I could make you another suit, but I do have some offcuts that I might be able to fashion for you. She nods, writes lots of notes, and kind of looks around to the rest. Anybody else for anything? Maybe I can point you in the right direction.
Well, since you ask, I mean, this is not, I'm sure you've got it on the rack somewhere, but I need a silken Tamantan bazinka with ruby-eyed grept, surrounded by mulholland sapphire Coutoure. Of course, the customary feather assortment of phoenix tail feather with peacock surround sprouting an emergence. Then, of course, the satin ceremonial robes of Asgore with a vermilion red base, bird umber with a sunburnt yellow sash of satin. The sleeves must, and this is a must, have golden trim. Obviously, this is a floor-length design with the long bell sleeves with a cinched waist. It may also have a high collar and be adorned with the gold or jeweled accenting, as per standard. Thank you.
As you're reading all of this out, she's kind of nodding very knowledgeably at each thing, and each time you're kind of like mentioning like a detail, like of course as she nods, is like, well, yes, naturally it's part of the customary design. She has full understanding of what you request, and she nods. It's like very very traditional. I like the approach.
Yes, well, we are a traditional people in my clan. We don't try any of these fancy new modern changes. We go with what our fathers did, and our grandfathers did, and our great grandfathers, and our great great grandfathers. Not our great 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 grandfathers. They were a somewhat dubious generation, but our great 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 grandfathers carried on that proud tradition.
Yes, indeed. I believe that I have maybe one or two in one of the wardrobes, just for an occasion. It's not often that I get dragonborns in this establishment, so I'm glad it can come out of its from its wrapping. I have had to make sure it doesn't get infested with moths. It's been a long time since it's been worn.
Yeah, no, I understand. Those moths go for that silk like well, moths to a lamp, horse to
Yes,
silk.
exactly.
Sorry, I'm not very good with comparisons like that.
Don't worry. It's fine.
It's been a long day.
Anybody else?
Yes, my family is also noble and well established, and we, in fact, while we do keep with tradition, we actually like to move with the times, and that's why we're at the height of fashion, and that is why I must insist on the tights.
Yes. Yes, very well. I think that I can bring something out. The colours?
Uh, silver brocade over a black velvet, maybe.
Velvet. Yes, okay. Fair enough. And shoes.
Uh, I hadn't really considered shoes. What would you recommend?
I have some leather plimsolls that might work quite well with it. Something dainty for the gentleman.
Yes, that
Nubs,
sounds good.
Nubs nudges Abard in the legs, like, I'll get your shoes, mate. I'll sort your shoes.
Oh, well, will you? Is it better to have something to start off with and sort of build up, or do you rather go from scratch?
Oh, sorry about mate. Just don't worry about it. I was trying to keep it together in the shop, so don't. It's really
Yes, I'd like to see some shoes, please, if you could.
Nubs goes red.
I'll bring down a
Let's lean
selection
over.
for you.
Just to start, we'll just see how it goes. Play it cool.
I'll bring you down a selection to choose from. What size should I fetch?
Large. Muscular.
Muscular feet.
Yes, I've got very
Okay.
muscular toes. It's all of the running.
Right.
Yes. My grandfather's my whore.
And you, sir, as she looks over at Finnan, how about yourself?
I sort of put it aside from everyone else and say, Madam, I have a very bespoke question to ask. Firstly, I will take your advice on cut and style, but I must be very insistent on one fabric. I'd like a waistcoat, but I want it to be like with orangutans in like some sort of fancy pattern, like
Go.
not necessarily Dolce & Gabbana sort of style, but like just sort of like patterned across the waistcoat. I think that would be very fitting.
So to clarify, you're not saying like your gentleman friend who's looking for snakes. You're not looking for it to be made from orangutan, because I do have some in the back.
No. That sounds horrendous. I just want little cool pictures of orangutans sort of stitched in.
Right. Yes. That's very, very doable. I can mock up a pattern for you for your approval, and I can produce that this evening.
I have one final request. I
Of
would
course.
love a ruff.
A ruff.
Yes,
Right.
a rough collar.
I've heard that the ruff is making a comeback these days.
I believe so. If I could see it before payment, that would be ideal.
And on the rough radius, I've seen some large ones come in recently, which I'm not too sure about.
I was about to say I'd take your advice. I thought a 3.5 foot one, as I'm 3.5 foot tall, would be quite appropriate to keep my own personal space at the party. But if you think a small one is better, then I'll take your advice.
Yes, I have some. If you are looking for something a bit larger, I have something like this, and she kind of holds out an example, like a mock-up sketchbook. In general. I also have some multi-layer ones, such as this.
Oh, that may be far too extravagant for my taste. I think something more in line with the first one's nature may be appropriate.
Very well.
I tell you, I have a book of Halfling Esquire Monthly. And I saw a very fetching outfit from the fancier side of town. I must admit, my folk are not of posh folk. Like, we're from Mirkwood, you see. Not Mirkwood. Methwood, that's the one. But I was thinking something along these lines. With a nice sash.
Ah, yes, a lovely sash. So yes, fine. and a wig as well, or?
I think a wig would be amazing. The more outrageous, the better. Ideally, I'd want someone to look at me and not know it was me due to the wig.
Very well.
Oh, wait.
Very well. Inconspicuous.
Could he have small orangutans swinging from hair to hair within the wig?
Yes, of course.
Amazing.
And you, the quiet man in the back. How about yourself?
I would like my party attire to be of a ceremonial robe style.
Is there any style you're going after? You have the ceremonial monks of the East. I have some maybe. However, it's usually used as fancy dress these days.
It has to be covering my midsection and made of the darkest black you can find, with shining golden highlights.
Very well, very well. And any headwear for you?
No. And Medicat looks in the distance for some reason.
Real talk of this one.
An easy customer. That is what I like. And she looks over at you, Nubs. And you, sir.
Hmm? Ah, well. You should be so lucky. I consider myself a bit of a craftsman. I've been sketching all morning, says Nubs, producing his producing his sketchbook. Now then, where is it? Hold on. Let me just see if I can find it for you. Ah, yes, here it is. Right, I've got to just chuck a picture into D&D. I can just save this quickly here. Oh, into Discord, sorry. I'll chuck it to Discord. Sorry for the build-up. Ooh. Yes. Ta-da! Yes, you see, it's a purple robe with a purple hat. Now, I'd like one with a large purple hat embroidered with moons and stars. The moons can be in silver, the stars can be in gold. I'd like the hat to have a nice brim as well. Something, a bit regal. And then the cloak should mirror the same sort of pattern, come down to around my knee level. Yes. And then it should be also embroidered as well, with lots of gold and silver moons and stars.
I was going to say, are those moons on the robe?
Yes, of course they're moons. Look, they look like moons.
I couldn't tell if it was the moon or a horseshoe.
They're moons. They're definitely moons.
Well, horseshoes would look nice as well, but fine if you want moons. Moons it is.
Now, on my picture, I've done stars on the hat and moons on the outfit, but I don't mind if they're all mixed up and sort of like a starry sky. I think that'd be really nice.
Very well.
But if you want, I also found a serious picture if you want one of a nice looking one.
No, this sketch will be fine.
Oh, this is like out of character now. I'll just maybe share this with the guys if you want to see this. Just some cool artwork on the internet. That looks
Nice.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I
Nice.
thought it'd be more fun if Nubs actually drew his own version of that.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
She kind of looks at all her notes and she's right. Let me go and take a bit of a stock check and see what I can do. Now, please take a look around whilst I go and have a look. And I would say that some of this may not be ready until the morning. I have a free rest of my day, so I can obviously work on this. But you may need to give me the evening. I believe that the party is in 2 days. Am I correct?
Aye. 2 days it shall be.
We have some time then. We have some time. And of course, I'll put this on the bill for Roxica. But for the time being, if there's anything else you'd like to peruse, I have some other wares down in the storeroom as well. Perfumes, some liqueurs, and whatever it may be. If you're taking gifts, whatever it might be. But yes, is there anything else anyone would like?
Other guests taking gifts?
I don't know if it is mandatory, but it is always polite, of course.
Do you know what gifts Sir Roaring Horn prefers?
As far as I'm aware, Roaring Horn is a man of many things. I do not know if he has any particular fancy. It is more just a polite gesture to a host, is it not?
I've always considered my presence a gift.
Yes, presents are a gift. That's the same thing, Abar. Do you not understand what a present is?
No, I mean my presence, as in my
Yes, a
being.
present that you give. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
You can actually hear clogs turning in Abard's brain, trying to work out what's going on.
Maybe I think you're being obtuse.
I think I've got the presence of mind to know what's going on here, Shamash.
No, you don't have presents in your mind. You give presents, you idiot. Smash
God.
walks off angry.
Oh dear.
Is anybody got any sausages? I think it's that time of day again.
Needs another cat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
On hearing this, you sort of see Finnan going, yes. And turns to Madame Locker and say, is there anywhere where I might be able to purchase a sort of decorative box?
What type of box?
Well, I'm sort of looking for a box. It's got a little hinge window thing on the front, like rectangular sort of size. Not too big, mind you, but just having a fancy.
I may have something downstairs potentially from some of the pieces I use to gift wrap. Why don't I go and fetch some pieces and I can bring them back up for you?
My God, that would be outstanding if you could, and I would happily pay you gold directly for it.
Absolutely. Give me a moment and let me go and do some checks in case there are any issues with what I have in. By all means, entertain yourselves up here for the time being whilst I will return momentarily. And the goblin kind of shifts off down into the stairway, down the ladder, and off into the rest of the shop. Should we take a quick break?
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Yes.
Love to. I'll make a cup of tea.
Cool.
Back
Thanks.
in 5.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Charlie, I've had enough of your sass.
Hmm.
Ugh. No, you're right. Sorry, I forgot to. I've got a manual mute that's different from my other mic, and I sometimes forget with the crisps. Apologies,
Oh, no,
boys.
it's all good. Wouldn't be
No,
an
it's
issue if we
good.
weren't recording.
Yeah, of course. No, but no, it's good that you tell me. Because I will forget. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
I'm back.
Yep.
I'm trying to generate a nice little picture in DALL-E too with Medica and his ceremonial robes, but I can't figure it out how it works. Turns into really weird.
I don't know, like, what sort of medieval fashion era D&D is supposed to be in.
I would,
Probably like a big old mixture.
Yeah.
I'd like to say like 1600s maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright, she's just brewing now, but I'll probably just take it off in a couple of minutes.
God, man. Jim Beam and Coke.
My man.
Ooh.
Got PG tips, PG and tips.
Nice. Man, I've been on the caramel tea hype the last couple of weeks.
It's nice actually, especially late at night. Completely agree, dude. I should nick some from work actually. They've got a little tea collection of different teas.
Yeah, I got some
Oh man, I'm gonna show you this. I tried to make like a dolly picture of Medica wearing those robes I'm talking about.
Did it turn out real good?
Okay, yeah, this is okay. Let's see. Can I save? Yeah. Oh wait.
Did you guys like Nubs' sketch, by the way? It's maybe a bit OTT.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
That was sick. The image you posted as well is awesome.
Yeah, that was actually what inspired me, and then I thought, I could have put that, or I could try and do shit. Actually, to be fair, I looked up like bad drawing of a wizard and edited it a little bit.
I tried
didn't have
generating
enough time.
some stuff as well. I got a great one for Shamash.
Let's see that. Oh, that is great. Shamash is perfect. Yeah. What was that used? Is that DALL-E 2 or is that Mid Journey? Sorry, or something.
That's DALL-E 2.
See, worked pretty well.
I really like generally speaking as well, I quite like Danish Impressionist paintings. So I tried that as one of the prompts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, sort of like that, sort of dream-like. Oh. That's an old reference there, Charlie, but a good one.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking for Unger, but snake skin.
You know nothing of the
cricket. Yeah! That's so good.
Kirk cannot drive. Kirk is a renowned ram raider.
Okay, so first that was really kind of okay was this, but it's a bit too overpowered. Then
nice.
Then came a little Slavic style one.
Oh shit!
I'm squatting and sitting at the same time.
Yeah, can't do hands at all.
And then this was a wild one. This one.
Tell you what, you wouldn't want to tell that guy like his.
I became a peck.
Who is that?
I don't know. Just AI generated it, and it's peck now.
Why is Yogi Bear the other peck?
Oh my god.
I don't know, man.
Is that what Talos looks like?
This is nightmare fuel. Yeah, actually could be. I don't.
Like one of Finan's apes, like with his head slightly to the side, like this.
But the highest rank of the Talos religion is to become the left peck of God.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Left peck of the gods.
Yeah, protector of the mighty cheesecake, apparently.
Yeah, what is that?
The golden cheesecake.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Doorknob on it.
It's because it's solid gold. The thing's so heavy, you have to have something to grip it to get it up off the floor. You know, when you pick it up again. It does look like a piece of cheese, doesn't it? That's weird.
Mm.
Sweet. No, I've not tried any of the other ones. Like I have tried Mid-Journey a little bit, but I don't know what's supposed to be best these days.
I was trying to work through my credits on Dali like so quick.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
If you're trying to do variations, it's just like rinses through them.
Anyone been fucking around on chats and Jupit?
I use it sometimes to work for coding.
Sit.
Yeah.
I use it at work as well. I also used it to create a cover letter for a job application the other day.
Oh, nice.
It's a fucking
Why
great cover letter, way better than I could have written. Like, obviously, it needs a little bit of editing, but by and large, I just put in what my experience was, what my sort of qualifications were, and it just, great cover letter.
Yeah, I used it the other
Dude,
day
that's
to
perfect.
write to basically like write an email around trying to make something more engaging to convince people to participate in a survey. And it was fucking. It was like, I don't want to have to try and figure out how to write this email, and it did it, and I was like, I'm just going to try it, and it seemed to work. So
Nice.
If it works, it
Um,
works.
yeah, I've actually used it to do like ad hoc on the fly prompts for like for D&D descriptions as well.
Oh, no way.
Really fucking good. Like the street earlier when I was like, fuck, I haven't actually prepped like a description for this. I put it in and mate, it was fucking good.
Dude.
Nice.
Could it like generate backstories for say like only the minor characters? So if we just want to really interrogate, like
so
give it a little
Well, I mean, you could
Barry
do
the piss
I got it to
NPC generation on it
backstory.
so well.
Yeah.
Like,
Tragic
I got it to
backstory
get-
of a small man in a pub who hauls around a bucket of piss. Who walks up.
I had a go at
Right now.
recreating Smash's backstory with it and got some really good stuff
Oh, nice.
earlier. Just to like
shit.
see what it was like.
it's a bit weird though because I was like, I enjoy writing this stuff, so I
Yeah.
don't want to rely on it. But at the same time,
Yeah.
when you're like caught in a like, fuck, how would I even do
Yeah.
this? It's pretty decent for like that kind of thing to give you like some
Absolutely.
I think it's pretty crazy though. It seems to be suddenly just changing like all sorts of things, like universities and essays and
Oh
Yeah.
man.
like.
Yeah, I've heard.
I
yeah.
definitely have found like I use it to help me like just at work. I'm like I don't really understand this. ChatGPT explained this like I'm a toddler or whatever, and it's just like, fuck, it's really good for like just very quickly getting an understanding of something.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard people
nice.
using it in like universities to write thesis in worst case and
passed
not
the-
get caught.
it passed the law
Yeah, I saw
exam.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
It can't do referencing though, yet,
I
which
guess
is
not.
like
that.
the main thing. But I have heard I also heard Google going to release their AI chatbot soon as well.
Oh shit.
That'd be nuts.
Google have
But,
also
like,
just laid off 12,000 people though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly.
There
Like,
might
why
be
would you
yarn
use this
divisions
chat?
there.
Well, that's because they've got an AI to do all the work
Yeah,
for them.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna
Just
say,
gonna
if you're a
get my team back.
copywriter, your days are numbered.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Rosie,
Unless you're
Rosie,
very
like,
good.
Rosie doing
Yeah.
copywriting as a job now is basically like there's no point ever trying to go back to it because I've already heard people at work talking about, well, we could just do some AI copy. It's like, fuck.
Shit,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
And can I just do a sense check on time? Because that kind of defines what we do next.
Okay, pretty for a while, yeah.
Probably
Only
okay.
people behind us on time.
I could do a little bit
I
more.
could probably go for like half an hour because it's 11 o'clock for me now.
Yeah.
So like half 11 I could probably do, but up to midnight's getting a bit late. I would probably say, but
Yeah.
whatever you guys wanna
Okay.
do.
That's fine. Let me. It's cool. I can save something else for another time. But let's do
Sorry.
this.
Yeah.
Let's look to. I'm gonna just pass it over to you guys and just tie us up into the sense of everything that you do over the next couple of days in Neverwinter, any conversations you want to have, anything that you want to do. But I guess I would specifically ask that you've been given an assignment at this party. You've also been already invited to this party for another reason. So I guess use that as a starting point to tell me a little bit about what you do over the next couple of days and the things that you discuss in preparation for the next session.
Can I suggest we teleport to the beach Leviathan in the evening and have a tactical chat about the party?
Well,
Sounds good.
So that Madame Delacocha confirms that she has everything she needs to be able to create the outfits that you have asked. There may be some minor tweaks and some differences, but she has promised that they will be ready to collect on the morning of the party, which gives you plenty of time to go and collect before you then venture off to the afternoon start time. We will say, for the sake of brevity, that the rest of the day passes. If there are anything you want to do in that time in the day, either to just anecdotally comment on or something you want to text me about, to wrap up your time before the party that you want to do before then you can obviously do so. But let's say that it is the evening in the beach Leviathan, and I'm going to pass it over to you guys.
Abel's gonna be a bit wild and buy a round of drinks for the table and bring them over to everybody. And gentlemen,
Why, thank you indeed.
There he is. He's saying it again. What? Say that again, Abod?
gentlemen.
Gentle. Okay, no, he did say gentleman. My bad.
Yeah. Anyway, right. As you know, we have a task at the party to get this coin onto a chap. I've been giving this some thought. At first, I thought we could stage an elaborate poker game where we could ensure that the winnings, including this coin, went to one man. But I think there's too much risk there. So I have a new proposal.
Go ahead. Speak your truth.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It occurs to me that we need some sort of game or some sort of game of chance that will attract enough attention to be sure that we'll be able to get our man to join in on the betting without attracting too much attention or it seeming too inconspicuous. So as long as we can generate...
You mean heads or tails?
Heads or tails? What game is this then?
Well, it comes back from the old days of war when you'd take the remains of your enemy's horse and you throw it into the air, and if you won, you got to eat the head, and if you lost, you had to eat the tail.
Oh, wow. Stomach-churningly good, I imagine.
Yes.
It's a suggestion. It's not a game I'm familiar with, and I would note we have gotten through quite a few horses lately. But we'll see what the party think. I was thinking of something slightly different. Perhaps we could stage some sort of grand tournament. A tournament of a fight to the death. Because as we all know, there is no sport that gains interest like death. And I propose that we enlist the help of some of our good friend Finnan's friends. I believe the Uki boys?
Oh my god.
And we could perhaps form a ring in which they fight each other to the death and we take bets. But we know the outcome of the fights so that we know how to encourage our man to bet the right way so that we can hand him his winnings, including the coin that we need to get onto his person.
Wait, you're telling me you want to put the boys in a battle royale fight to the death?
It's a suggestion.
Well, I for one think this seems very congruent with the overall theme meeting of the mind. I'm sure this is the high caliber intellectual activity that Roaring Horn has invited people there for. I'm sure won't stick out like a sore thumb.
If there's one thing Finnan's learnt from his time and travels, is that people of all backgrounds love blood sport.
Yes, but it could be a finer blood sport with, why don't we tape for example, an ape to a chair and throw darts at it? That would be far more in the, that's more the kind of stuff we do back home.
Forgive me for interrupting, but I still don't understand
Where's
how
the
this leads the
cruelty
coin
in a
to
fair
landing in his
fight?
pocket.
I feel uncomfortable with this line of idea. I don't want to do that to the boys, because we all know Chickpea would win.
Perhaps
I don't think
then-
this guy help us to fight themselves to the death. Why would they help us after that?
Well, they won't have to because they'll be dead, won't they?
Uh,
Now, I'm all up for blood sports as much as the next people, but this just seems a bit crude.
It seems out of character for a high society, wheelin' dealin' party.
It's not elaborate enough, I agree with you. If we're
I
going
like
to do
the
animal
idea
cruelty,
of-
it has to be elaborate animal cruelty. And
I
we
like the
have to
idea of the game. I like the
make it
idea of maybe we
exclusive.
have some high stakes gambling. So high stakes that it draws everyone in. And it's a perfect distraction for a few of us to sneak off, perhaps.
Why do we need
yes,
to sneak off?
distraction. Sneak off and sneak the coin into his coat. You see, I imagine they'll be asking for us to hang our coats up upon entry. You could leave the coin in there. Although, if we do that, he won't wear his coat until he leaves the party again, so we better hope he has a conversation of worth the while later on.
Don't we need him to wear the coin while he's in the conversation with Gundren?
Yeah.
I was kind of realising that.
I
I
think
don't
that
think
would
how much that's going to work.
Slip
Or
it
at least
on.
when he's conversing with his other person at the party.
Yes.
So we
very
need
true.
to get it to him early on, and we need to get it before, yes, he has his meeting with Gun.
How big is the coin?
Coin
Coin
size.
size.
Yeah, it's a very
No.
standard looking coin.
Are we talking like standard coin, or are we talking like fancy
Another rule is a
collector's
grim
edition coin?
Halfling's not seen a coin before.
It was like quite a standard type of coin.
Okay.
I think
I'm
it's
asking too many questions here, but
bronze. No, it's a valid question.
Yeah, it
Okay.
absolutely is, yeah.
hear
1
me out,
pence,
lads.
2 pence.
Could I maybe use my powers of transformation into a small enough animal, but yet still large enough to sneak it in?
Carry the coin.
Say
Mhm.
a cat.
That's
And
pretty big.
place on him. Everybody loves petting a cat, so maybe I could like
With
be
a
his
coin
best
in its
friend.
mouth.
I could have it like in my mouth or something, and be like, "Blah," like an airball.
Oh, yeah.
Airball.
Vomit into his mouth.
Into his
That would go
pocket.
unnoticed.
It'd be fine. It's, oh, it's just cat stuff. Like,
I have a suggestion. How about
Please.
we place the coin on the ground nearby him? One of us walks past and says, "See a penny, pick it up. All a day, you'll have good luck." Then, of course, he'll repeat the other part of the rhyme. If you take this coin and give it to a friend, then your luck will never end.
yeah, but then
Um,
And then he will
he's
take
going to
the,
give it to a friend.
Unger's going to pipe up.
No, you give it to him as your friend.
Oh.
See him?
Unger
Simple,
looks
but
up from his bowl of food and says, "What if he swallow coin? He poop out 8 hours later. We
Now that is a fine idea. Fine idea indeed.
I mean, he's not wrong. It would be on his person and very much
In his
safe
person.
in his possession. You won't even fall out of his pocket or anything.
But
makes a
what
point.
if they were to just
I-
hear stomach gurgling noises and the poo noises?
Well, I don't know how magic coins work.
sound funny."
Can it just hit pocket noises otherwise?
Gentlemen, I have thought of another possibility. The tailor today, the goblin lady, she mentioned that she's also done costumes for several other guests. I don't suppose you think maybe she's dressed the chap, and
You see, the
we could
problem is there's
maybe.
Alternatively, if she is not, could we commission something last minute and the pain of money or death, and sew it into like a hat
Yeah.
or something, or a
but the
It's all
lapel?
very
Right.
good.
The
And I know
problem
the
is the
biggest
coin only
brains
has a
in the
limited
group
amount of time. So
yeah,
as soon as we
and
just get rid of it, it will be active. And obviously, if we
Yeah.
get rid of it before the events, then it will lose its magic potency by the
Good
time.
point.
of
and
the
not to
party.
discourage the greatest minds in this party, but we have no idea who this person is until they arrive.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
that's very true.
how are we going to
I-
choose a coat otherwise?
I was
Yeah.
wondering,
We
Well,
don't even have a
if-
name.
do we know
But-
anything?
But after you, Medica.
Do we know anything about the target?
We know who's
Only
taking
We will
that,
see him with his companion, won't we?
Yeah, only that he's like the whole point is that I forget the guy's name, but he likes to make a show of things. He's very
He's-
flamboyant, and he wants to make a big entrance with his financier. Is
Melkin.
what I understand.
He'll arrive with his friend Melkin.
Do we know if
I
he's
believe
any
that-
religious person?
We don't
We
know.
have no idea. We just know
Melkin
he's
just
his
wants to
financier.
make a big song and dance about it.
I believe that for once, Unger's view is the best. We trick him into swallowing the coin.
There'll be food at this party, nonetheless.
There will be drink. We can
Indeed.
pour him a drink, and one of us could say to
What if?
down your drink as fast as you can, as is tradition in your country. I could
Maybe
surely
slap him on the
exploit
back afterwards for doing so.
exactly.
Once
Securing
We
the
could
swallow.
design a whole cultural event of drinking.
if we want to go down the food route, Finn could once we've gained entry to the party, I could turn my magical armor into chef's outfit of whatever catering company Lord Roaringhorn has chosen, or in-house staff, and I could
Okay,
infiltrate that way.
That's a fine idea indeed,
Hmm.
Sinan.
I think we hide coin in canapes of oyster. Oyster go down in one.
Nice.
Why, yes. And you may just think it was a particularly round pearl.
You know, I've never thought you were such a cultured man, Nubs. Nubs.
That we're gonna choke this guy
Okay.
to death.
How
That was-
no.
I'm very impressed with you. I'm not talking to myself. Very impressive, Bungerson.
I think we're gonna have to finesse it inside the pie. I don't think we're gonna be able to pre-game it.
Yeah, rough plan.
I really can't help but feel we're not considering gambling.
I still think
Yeah, you would
gambling's
say
a
that.
good idea.
Good, Laser's fingers. All we need: one oyster, one coin, and man.
I
Simple.
agree.
But,
I
but
support
how?
you.
What if he's allergic to shellfish?
That's his
They'll
problem.
have a bad time.
Then we kill him.
I
Aren't we meant to be
propose.
getting his money for Gundren,
That's
right?
not.
I think what's required is for this man. They do need his investment, so he can't die of dysentery shortly after the
Wait,
party.
so
You don't
We
get
need to be there for
dysentery
when-
from poking on an oyster. Do you not know anything about
No,
dysentery? I've
and you
had it
also-
several times.
And you also don't get dysentery from a swift hand of cards. And just bear with me. Bear with me. If we could go back to the tailor, find out what this man is going to be wearing.
We don't know his name or who he
Who-
is.
who this man is?
Yeah. We don't know which man are
Mel-
you talking
Melkin's
about.
the showboat,
Avon.
then.
You
Like,
you might
We'll
not
only find
get-
out when they arrive, because we need to be there. We need to be there unfashionably early, because we
We do.
need to be there for when everyone arrives.
Yeah.
Or his
Because when
announcement.
they arrive, they get announced.
That's right, Abod. Is your brain as smooth as your armor? Come on.
But, for example, building on Unger's suggestion, we could have Finan in his cloak looking like one of the staff members and feed him an oyster as he arrives. He comes in, he is announced. Finan walks up to him with the oyster and the coin.
This
And
is a plan I like.
Maybe in staff uniform, I could say, "Sir, may I take your coat?" and like sleight of hand it into his pocket. Like,
You know what?
That's
That's
all-
also
yes, but
very
he won't be
sensible.
wearing his coat during the event. When we
no,
want
onto his
to-
person.
also
As
a
I
good point.
take his coat off him, I could be like, "Aha!"
You take his
Yes.
coat and sleight of hand coin into his mouth.
Or
Yeah, what,
in
it's
his other
somewhere on him.
What if he has in his
necessarily
pocket?
his mouth.
I have one suggestion, says Nubs. Pulling the coin that everyone thought was on the table out from behind his ear. As it drops it on the floor and clangs around. Oh. I used to know that trick. I used to be pretty good at it. Never mind. Maybe we better not leave it to my sleight of hand skills and magic.
I propose we go into this with a plan and a backup plan. We can try slipping it into his food or his drink,
Yep.
but I think we have a backup plan, which is I'll be at the card table, just in case. And if we get into dire straits, we need to get him to the card table, and I will be slipped the coin. I'll put it into the bet, and I'll make sure that he gets it, just in case we
I
need
think
to.
that's fair. I think that's a fair backup.
Yeah, but I'll of course have to be at the table all night to be inconspicuous.
Oh, that'll be a struggle,
Yes.
won't it?
Of course, yeah. I'm sure you'll be able to see that through.
Well, chaps, I think we've got a plan. What do you say?
As long as we're not beating up apes senselessly, Finan approves.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I
could
think
just do that for
we
fun
could be
after.
on that.
I
Ah,
do think the
You see, we
the-
wouldn't have
the
been
aim
beating them
dance-
up. They would have been beating each other up.
You're missing them.
but that's too fair. A good blood sport means that they have very little chance. Say we could get a I don't know, we could get a pig, for example, and hang it from the ceiling, and we could all hit it with clubs.
Jesus.
Whoever makes it the loudest wins.
Finan is folding his arms and looks increasingly more annoyed at Shramat.
Thrash has no idea what is going on with Finn, and is just thinking this sounds like really good fun.
Alright. Well, first plan, get him to eat it. Second
Yep.
plan, get him on the card table. We need a point man. Finan, that's you. You're going to be keeping heads and your eye and your ears and all of your toes on this operation. Got it?
Okay. Yes.
Excellent. Alright. Then
So
we need
we
someone to
haven't
be
discussed-
a bit of a distractor, bit of a charmer. I'm thinking Shamash, probably you.
Now I could regale him of tales of the old country. I think that will keep him distracted long enough.
Sure, yes,
Maybe
exactly.
some
Anything to bore him.
Fire breathing, some fire breathing shows to tickle his interest.
Oh, tune.
So the other thing we haven't discussed, however, is why else are we going to Roaring Horn? Aren't we going there to find more about Artus Simbar, the man the giants have been after,
Ooh.
and his son
Yes. Also,
who was hanging around with us?
considering there's many bigwigs about, maybe there's more we can learn from other folk at the party.
Yes, I think
Well,
before
Roaring Horn specifically is the one we wanted to meet, I believe.
That too.
I can
Surely
mingle
we
at the
should have
party.
a priority.
Should probably not kill one of his party guests then.
Mingle, not kill.
Mingling.
I'd be quite interested to have a little mingle, I suppose, before the games begin in earnest. It would be good to pick up whatever intelligence we can.
But we must also make sure we have a meeting with Roaring Horn and discuss Arthur Simbar.
I wonder what entertainment there will be for us at the party. Laid on by Roaring Horn. It's gotta be good.
It is the meeting of the mind, so I think it will be more, going away and discussing important issues of the realm,
Wait,
like how to deal with the goblin attacks.
yeah, it's bound to be some sort of eunuch or something.
Some unicorns.
A eunuch.
Ah, yes. Yes, we could make some eunuchs. That could be quite amusing.
Make? Oh my god.
Hey, there's someone who's never been to war.
It's full of like Blackadder One ideas. What about the jumping Jews of Jerusalem? Ah, they've cancelled. No.
Okay, so
Okay.
Should we though think about scheduling a discussion with with Roaring Horn about Arthur Simbar and actually following our initial plans from many moons ago.
I wonder if there's a sort of sign up sort of slot system at the event. Like, can you book in your little bit of time, like a birds of a feather type meeting? Or am I overthinking this?
I don't know. It seems like a reasonable thing. Obviously, there will be many minds there, and to meet them all, you will need some sort of efficient system.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should think of some good policy ideas.
Is there a speaker
to improve?
I do wonder if perhaps if we did have some sort of bombastic gift that might compel Roaring Horn to speak to us.
I haven't had chance.
Or perhaps if we had,
I have been working on a gift from us with the packaging supplied by Madame Locre. I was thinking we could supply Roaring Horn with some of the rarest halfling brewed beers available, and dress it up really fancy in the box so it seems way more highbrow than just mushroom ale.
Sounds like a fine gift indeed.
Also, we didn't cover it, but I imagine I had to pay some money for the packaging.
Yeah, that's fine. We can cover that.
Sweet. But yeah, Finham's gonna siphon off part of the brew into like a 12 case of beers for Roaring Horn as a gift.
Okay. Are we decided then?
I think it sounds like we might be.
Yes. Does somebody need to take the task of finding the oyster?
Yes.
Me and Bungerson will go fishing.
Bungerson? Yeah, I think you boys have got that.
Wait, is that D&D Beyond?
So, with that, we will say that your group discussion goes on into the long hours of the night as you whittle many discussions, doing many 360s and turns to
Working
come
out the
down
fine
on
details.
to come onto an agreed tactic and approach. You'll have another day to mull over your thoughts, but all other eventualities lead us to the meeting of the minds, which is where we'll pick off next session.
Ooh.
Nice.
Looking forward to it. Nice indeed.
Cool. Thank you
Cool.
very much, boys.
Amazing.
No,
Thank you.
Always fun.
Got my notes sorted.
I'll be honest, I'm still unsure of the plan, but